guys, so today's video is going to be a video I actually got requested, which is amazing. So one of my recent videos, I did a makeup collection tour where I showed you all of my makeup, but one section that I really just breezed over because I really would not have time to go through into detail is all of my eyeshadow palettes. And in total, how many eyeshadow palettes I have is 83. So today's video is going to be my eyeshadow collection video. We're going to go to each single eyeshadow palette and at least take a quick look at it, talk about it for a second. Hopefully this video won't be too long, but I have the list right here, and we're not going to go into any particular order, but this is the list. I have 83 eyeshadow palettes, which includes some of my single shadow palettes, but we're going to talk about at least the majority of the ones that are on here. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so here are all of my eyeshadow palettes laid out on my bed. Yes, all of them except my single shadows. These are all my eyeshadow palettes that I still have. I've decluttered a lot over the time. I've depanned them and put them into magnetic palettes like my Jaclyn Hill original palette. A lot of Morphe palettes I depanned and got rid of that way so that they're not in full palette form. And yeah, so we have a lot to go through. Are you guys ready? Because I hope you are. Grab some popcorn, grab some drinks, because it's going to be a long video talking about each palette. I organized them by brand pretty much, so you can see brands are pretty much stuck together for the most part. Yeah, we have a lot of ColourPop, as you can see. This whole section is ColourPop right here. We have a little Kaleidos, Jeffree Star, and a mix throughout the rest. So let's get started. Okay, the first three palettes were the ones all the way in the back. First, we have the James Charles Morphe palette. Woo, this palette is a lot of things, and one of them is awesome because it's just has everything you would need, but it's the biggest freaking palette ever, and it's very hard to store. I wish I had a place to store it where I can play with it more, but I don't. It's literally the very bottom of my drawer under all of these palettes. So imagine how hard it is to get this palette out. It's literally the last palette I pulled out of my drawer because it's huge. But it's awesome, but I don't know. I don't know. If you have a place to store it that's easy access, then it's totally worth it, but yeah. Next, we have the Jaclyn Hill Part 2, Volume 2, whatever you want to call it. I had her original, I still have her original shadows. I did depan them and put them in a magnetic palette, and I got rid of some of the shades. I did have her vault, but I sold it because I really just didn't use her vault. And then I got this, and I'm like, why did I get this? But I have it. I like it, it's just not special. And the last Morphe palette I have is the Morphe Jeffree Star. Obviously, I only buy Morphe palettes that are collabs. Unless I really love a palette and it's not a collab, I probably won't buy it from Morphe because their palettes are just like, eh. But this one's really awesome. I just really don't go for it and reach for it. I should, but I just don't. I don't know. Eventually, I probably will declutter this because I really don't play with it very often. But that's that palette. So we have my Morphe palettes. Let's move on to the next category. Next, we have Miss Tati Beauty. And yes, I have literally palettes from a bunch of people on YouTube, a bunch of beauty gurus that probably don't get along, but whatever. But this is Tati Beauty's Volume 1. This one I got like on a second or third restock, but yeah. I wasn't interested in it, and I resisted so long not to get this palette because I was like, I don't need it. And I finally broke and I bought it, and honestly, I don't need it. You really don't need it. Unless you're just starting with eyeshadow, you don't need it. You really don't. If this is your first ever eyeshadow palette ever, then I think this is a good palette to start with. It has a good range of, like, a good set of neutral shades with a little fun pop of here and here. It has literally 4 different textures for you to play with and play around with and learn. But honestly, if you have like this collection, you don't need this palette at all. You really don't. You don't need it. It's soft touch matte, which is super dirty and gross. I don't know. It's really cool and sleek and sophisticated. Look at my oily but it just looks so dirty. It just gets dirty so easily. But it's a really pretty palette. I give that to her, but you don't need it. You really don't need it. Trust me, I don't need it either. But yeah, that's this palette. Okay, now we're gonna get into Jeffree Star Cosmetics, starting with Jawbreaker. This is his rainbow palette. It's honestly such a beautiful palette. This is probably the most expensive palette I own. It's like I don't even know how much it is, $50-$60, somewhere around there. It is not cheap. It's a really pretty palette. Do you need it? No. If it's your only colorful palette in your collection, then don't go ahead and buy it, and this will be a great palette. But then again, you see my collection, and obviously I really don't need it, but I love this palette. It's really pretty and really fun. It does have some unique colors that I wouldn't have in other palettes. That's really fun, and I like it. So yeah, Jawbreaker. Next we have, let's see, Blood Sugar, his original iconic pop star right here. Blood Sugar was probably one of his first palettes to really go big and sell out and sell crazy amounts and break records for him. Again, I really don't touch it, but it's such a pretty palette. I do like it. I don't know, this palette gives me like weird feelings. Like I like the colors, but I'm like, it's hard for me to really think of a look I really want to do with this palette. There's a really great row of neutrals on the top. I just touched that, whoops. And then it has fun colors down here to play with, but like I just really don't reach for it. Again, not gonna get rid of it, just saying that this might be a possible declutter in the future if I really don't start using it. Next, we have the next one is Blue Blood, and this one is a new purchase, so I'm not gonna get rid of this, but it is very blue. So if you like blue eyeshadow, definitely get your hands on this. If you're not a big fan of blue, don't buy this. You don't need a blue palette if you don't wear blue eyeshadow. Just saying. I do wear blue. I don't wear blue eyeshadow a lot. I honestly love purple, which is why this one right here, where is it? I can't even tell where I'm pointing, but that one right there is very loved. But this is Thirsty. I had this for a while. I thought about decluttering it, and then I decided to keep it. I don't know. I get mixed feelings about it. I like it. It's pretty neutral. It's not too crazy, and it just have some pops of color in there for fun because it's a Jeffree Star palette, duh. But I don't know. I just don't reach for it, and I'm not like inspired when I look at it. Next, we have, let's touch on his mini palettes. Mini Breaker kind of is like the sister palette to Jawbreaker. It has colors that could have been in the palette but decided not to put in the palette and decided to sell this. A lot of people were like, you don't need it, like it's just shadows that he didn't fit, so he's just selling you more shadows. Well, yeah, I didn't buy this at first. I bought just Jawbreaker, but then I ended up buying this later on, and I do like it. It's a really pretty palette. You can definitely use this on its own and really create a really pretty purple eyeshadow look. But yeah, you probably don't need it, but it's a good like accessory to the Jawbreaker palette. Next, we have Mini Controversy, and oh, I love this palette. And yeah, I like it. I love it. I created a really cool look with this, and it's a really good complementary palette to the Conspiracy palette. Like, them two together is like infinity of looks. Speak of the Devil, we have Conspiracy palette by Shane Dawson, like the craziest palette that of our generation, our century, whatever you want to say about it. It's a lot. It is the palette that everyone talked about for a long time. And I got my hands on it the day it came out because I was smart but not that smart. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was smart. I was like, ooh, I want to get it first and then make a video on it so I can get a lot of views, like, you know, because I was being thirsty, you know. So I went to the Morphe store. I went early in the morning with my mom and my sister, and I got in line. I was able to get 2 of them and all this kind of stuff. I ended up selling my extra one because I didn't actually need it, but I was in line and I saw the website crash and was like broken, and I was like, oh my god, if I was at home right now, I would be having an emotional breakdown. I would be like in a fetal position crying in my room because the website was down for like forever, and I would be crying. Luckily, I was at the Morphe store and I was happy and I got it. Oh my god, look at how damaged she is. She's damaged or whatever, but I love the palette. It's a really good, again, good top neutral shadows on top. I do not like this spiraling shade, and see Paralysis is cool and unique. That's why I like it, but this one I just will never use, like, ever. I'm sorry, but I really would not use this shade. I'd use every single shade in here except that one, just to be honest. I wish you put like the green in here or something. I don't know, a different shade. I really don't care for the shade. I'm not gonna lie. I will love this palette forever and ever, but I will not use that shade. I tried it so many times to try to work with it. I don't like it. Just saying, that's my honest opinion. Next, we have Bloodlust, the newest baby, Velvet, Bougie. and it looks like a jewelry case. Like, it literally is like so bougie. Again, I went to the Morphe store because I was like, I need to get my hands on it and make a video right away. The look I created that day was literally one of my favorite looks I ever done. It was so pretty. I love this palette. I love purples. It used to be my favorite color. I turned it to blue, but I don't know. Right now I've been loving purple, especially eyeshadow. So let's get onto more shadows. Okay, next we're gonna get into the largest category of today's video, ColourPop. Starting with the largest palettes because, like I said, I'm doing this in order of how I would need to put it back in my drawer. The big palettes go in first. So we have Bare Necessities. This was their first big palette, and it's a bunch of neutrals. It's a great palette. It is awesome if it's like one of your first palettes and you're really just comfortable with neutrals, or you just love neutrals to death. This one will be your best friend. But if you are like me and you have this collection, do you need this palette? No. Will I still keep this palette? Yes, because I'm crazy like that. Next, we have It's All Good. Oh, wait. Was this the first one? Or was that the first one? I forgot, to be honest. It's been a little while. This was the third one. And yes, these two shadows are missing because they were glitters. And I take glitters out of my palettes from ColourPop. You will see that with a lot of these ColourPop palettes that have glitters in them. I take them out. But the rest of these are metallic or matte or some kind of other formula that isn't a glitter. It's a pretty palette. Kind of reminds me of the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. So if you have this one or the Morphe one, you don't need the other. To be honest, they're literally like the same colors, like a little yellow, a little purple, a little pink, some neutrals. And this one is definitely one of the most unique ColourPop palettes, and is probably one of their best palettes. It is the So Jaded Kathleen Lights collab. Amazing jewel tones. Again, these were glitters, so I took them out. They were pretty glitters. I like opal a lot, but yeah. This is a really pretty palette. It has a lot of fun colors that you don't normally see, which are jewel tones. But yeah. Okay, we're going to take a break from ColourPop really quick and talk about Juvia's Place. I have the Nubian, which is a really pretty neutral palette again. As you can see, now that we're doing this video, I have a lot of neutral palettes. But yeah, this is one of them. And it's pretty, and I like their quality. Their owner, I don't know about all that. But if you really care about if I really cared about the owners of the makeup brand, I wouldn't own a lot of these palettes. But yeah. This one is Masquerade Mini. I like this palette. I think if you're going to get one palette from them, it should be this one because it has neutral and some colorful. This shade is so pretty. All of these are just so pretty. If you're going to get one palette from them, I recommend this one because it has a little taste of both. But if you're really, really not a colorful person at all, you know you'll never use it, then get this one because it's worth it. Okay, let's see what we have next. We'll do ColourPop again now. Starting with their bigger palettes, we have these four. First, we have Chasing Rainbows from ColourPop. This was like a holiday one, I think. It's cool, but yeah, that's all I have to say. It's cool. Next, we have Misunderstood. This one is very, like, weird, to be honest. Like, I get it. It's supposed to be, like, different, a villain, it's misunderstood. But it literally has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mattes, and the rest are metallics. It's like, you can only do so much with a palette. It's literally just do a neutral look, and then pop a metallic on your lid. That's like the limit to this palette. It's a good complementary palette, but on its own, it's like meh. This is the newest one, I can't even talk. Midnight Masquerade. And these, again, were glitters. I took them out. I always take them out. It's a good neutral palette. It has some fun shades in there too. Like this one and this one. And this one's actually really cool. It's like a dual chrome. But other than that, if you cover those three, it's a pretty neutral palette. So yeah, if you don't need another neutral palette, you don't need this one. But this is definitely like a fun Disney thing. And then the first one they created. This is a really pretty palette. It's very neutral. I like it. I would recommend it to a lot of people. It's a really pretty palette. But when I have so many, like, do I actually need an oil? Which is like a lot of my palettes. Like, I really don't need them, but I have them. And I'm not going to just throw them away. Or give them away if I don't feel like giving them away. So yeah, that's that. Next, we have more ColourPop palettes. We have these two. I decluttered this, and then I brought it back because I was like, I need it. Again, I hate this shade. I tried it. I swatched it. It's not good. I don't like this kind of dark metallic. It's not me. The rest of the palette's okay, but yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say. This palette is probably one of my favorite ColourPop palettes ever. It's just everything I want. It's just so pretty. Like when I look at it, I'm like, I want to make 100 looks with these. It's neutral, but it has some pop of color. These green tones. Oh my god, this Emerald Dream is literally a dream. Like, it's so pretty. This one got messed up. It shattered and I had to repress it. That's why it's all messy. But it's a really pretty color. But yeah, I love this. It's probably one of my favorite ColourPop palettes. Next, we have a Tartlet palette. This is from Tarte, in the Bloom. I decluttered it, but I added it back to my collection because I was like, I like it. I'll use it. If I'm going to keep it, if I don't want it anymore, I'm going to give it to someone because I don't want to get rid of it. I like this palette. Okay, let's do one last random brand. Let's do some of the random brands. We have the Venus 3 from Lime Crime. I love this. Again, I've been loving purple. And I love purple eyeshadows to death. Oh my god. Pixie and its Judy Time eyeshadow palette. I did have the lip palette, but I got rid of it because I really don't wear those kind of lips. Oh my god, if you don't know, it's Judy Time. I love their channel. They are literally the best family channel out there. I love them so much. I was there since Juliana Bear was like just born, before the twins. I've been watching for a long time. I haven't watched them consistently because they upload like almost every day, but when I do watch them, I love them. My first ever video, I remember it was back in the day when I made duct tape wallets and I was looking up Daiso hauls, which is like a Japanese dollar store with everything's at like $1.50 or more. So it's kind of like the 99-cent store where it's not exactly $1.50 for everything, but you know, you get the idea. Everything's really cheap and it's all like Japanese and from Japan. And they did a Daiso haul in their old apartment. Judy and Benji did a video and I'm pretty sure it's still up on her channel. But yeah, that was my first video of her, but this is her palette she did with Pixie. It's really pretty and I love the names and it just has so much attachment. I have attachment to it. That's why I keep it. Okay, what's next? Let's do ABH because that's another big category that we need to get through. This is not ABH, but this is just one that goes with my ABH palettes because it's like the same size, but this is the Dose of Colors Education palette. I need to use this more, but it's a really pretty palette. A lot of people love it and I do love it too. It's really pretty, but yeah, I need to use it more. Now we have some collaborations. We'll start with Jackie Aina. This is an amazing palette. I love it. A lot of people love it and there's a reason. It's just really fun. The quality is good and it's really cute. So yeah, love that palette. I love my ABH palettes. Next we have Color Bible. A lot of people bought this because they thought they would like it. A lot of people have issues with the cover because it triggers a phobia in them, which I have that phobia, but this doesn't trigger it for me. But I get the idea that she was going for. Sorry if that's bothering you that I keep showing you, but I like this palette. A lot of people don't like it. I understand why, because it just looks pretty, but like if you're just not into the colors, you just won't really use it. But I love this palette. The mattes are like the perfect matte shades and the metallics are just so pretty to play with and put on your lid. I did a look with it while I was at school in my car and it was really pretty and I loved it. Next, we have Soft Glam, an icon. There she is. Oh, I really just dropped that plastic. I need to put that to the side or else I'm going to forget to pick it up. Sultry. I like it. It's not my favorite ABH. Oh, I wasn't even showing you guys. Sorry. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty. I like it. Modern Renaissance. This is probably one of my first higher end palettes. I don't know, it just gives me nostalgic feelings, but honestly I haven't used it in a long time. Next we have Nervina. This is really pretty. Again, I love purple, so this is definitely up my alley. But yeah, Nervina. Riviera, I just got this. I have not played with it yet. I know it's kind of an older palette and a lot of people, it was a bad idea for Anastasia to do this palette and the Alyssa Edwards at the same time because they're like the same color story basically. So a lot of people were like, why would I need both? But yeah, this one, I literally decolored this, but I was like, I love it too much. I love it, not because of the shades, because the shades kind of like confuse me a little, but the packaging is so pretty. I mean, I get the shades, they're like jewel tones, but oh, I wasn't even showing. I keep not showing it. I'm really sorry. If this whole video is me not showing you guys the palette, I'm really sorry, but here it is. It's jewel tones, but I just don't know. It doesn't really work for me, but I love the packaging. Like, if I ever created a palette, it would definitely be around this kind of theme. Like, gold and black, ooh, and velvet. Love it. And this is another new one, the Amrezy. Their first larger palette. It is really pretty. It has extra shades. And there's a shade called Gemini, which I love. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now back to ColourPop, the big collection. We'll start with this pile first. We have the one that sold out so quick, and it is the Sailor Moon ColourPop collab. And I've used it. I like it. Is it my favorite palette? No. Do you need it? No. Do a lot of people buy it just because it's Sailor Moon and it's nostalgic and whatever? Yeah. Did I watch Sailor Moon? No. But yeah. Sorry, but that's honestly the truth. I really didn't watch Sailor Moon, but I thought it was a really cute palette and I bought it. I wasn't even gonna buy it. I was like, I don't need it. And then I was just on the website while I was in class during break, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it. And I ended up getting it. Next, we have the Whatever palette. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera. But yeah, here's a glitter. Took it out. A neutral palette, a little warm tone. It's cute. Do I need it? No, like 99% of my palettes. Next, we have Give It To Me Straight. This is more of a purpley, mauve tone palette. It's cute. It's pretty old. I had it for a while, but yeah. This one, I don't want to say it because I don't speak Spanish and I'm not trying to butcher the name. So yeah, this palette. It's with collab with Becky G. I love the colors in here. Again, I'm a sucker for like a good neutral with a pop of blue or green. I don't know, it always gets me. It's just so pretty to my eye and I actually want to use it. Like, yeah. And that's why I also have this palette. The Rendezvous palette. Again, pretty neutral, but has that really pretty teal in there and it just like catches my eye. This was supposed to be an Ulta exclusive. They ended up launching it on their website, which was weird. But yeah, it was Rendezvous and Sweet Nothings. I decluttered Sweet Nothings and sold it. I didn't really wear that one, but that one was unique enough for me to keep it. Next, we have Cute AF. Oh, the Yes Please palette. See, ColourPop, I'm glad you never did this again. This was their first palette ever. Like their pressed like powder, because they had super shock shadows, but this was their first like palette with eyeshadows and stuff. And yeah, never do that. That's dumb. Like, I always accidentally call it, even though I know it's called the Yes Please palette. Like, no, like, never do that. Never, never, never. But yeah, it is the Yes Please palette. It is warm tone. It was like a bestseller for the longest time, but I don't know what the hype was about this one. This was not even my first ColourPop palette. It took me a while to get this one because I was like, I don't really want that. But yeah, I have it now. But this is Dream Street. This was another hyped, loved palette. It is really pretty. Again, it is like that kind of thing I wanted. I created a look with this recently and I hate the look. I hated it. But that's probably on me, not the palette. But yeah. This is the She palette. Again, it says Femme Rosa, so the first thing I see is that, and that's what I want to call it, but it is called the She palette. She. Again, ColourPop. I'm glad they don't do that anymore, but do not put in the biggest font in the middle of the palette what it's not called. This is a collection, Femme Rosa, but it's called the She palette. Oh, and the colors, I like it. It's purpley. It's cute. It used to be like one of my favorite palettes, but I just haven't used it in a while because I have so many other palettes. Okay. Now we're gonna get this chunk here. We have Ola Chola, more controversy. Basically, there was a copyright issue because Ola Chola is a company that literally has this theme. So this palette is no more. So yeah, it's all matte palette, their first all matte, which sucks because it's a really cool palette. I know a lot of people would have liked it. Too bad they don't have it anymore. This palette, oh my god, when I say I love purple, this is my favorite palette right now from ColourPop. This is my aesthetic as of right now. I created a look with this and I fell in love with it so hard. And yes, that was a glitter, which I did use. It's really pretty. I like it. If you like purple, oh my god, the packaging. I live for the butterflies and glitter and purple. Like, this is my new aesthetic as of recently. I've been loving butterflies, glitter, and purple when it comes to like my aesthetic. Even though you don't see that in my room is just very white and black. But yeah, I love this palette. Yeah, I mean, hello, this is another oldie. I don't even know this one's available. This is definitely my most used palette. Even though it doesn't look very used, it is my most used. It was like my favorite for a long, long, long time until I started buying more palettes. But yeah, it's a good one. This one is new. Have not used it. You're a cutie. I got it. It's cute. You can tell that it's what I like. So yeah. Okay, I keep dropping the stupid plastic stuff out of my palettes, but whatever. Next, we have the Zodiac, and the color story, again, with a lot of people, it was like very confusing. It didn't really go together very well. Like, it was like, what can I really do with this palette? Which I understand, but yeah, I know she tried. But there could be a better approach to this palette, I think. But I love the packaging. I love that my sign's right here. Okay. Next, we have Bye Bye Birdie. Again, those were glitters. I took them out. It's a really pretty palette. This is a good palette if you haven't tried ColourPop before and you want to try their different formulas. You have a Super Shock shadow. You have the metallic. I think this one's a Super Shock too. You have a metallic, you have matte, and their glitters. So if you want to try different formulas from ColourPop, this is a good one. And it's purpley and pink and it's a pretty color. Okay, we're almost done. Last stack of ColourPop, at least there are 12 ones. This is one of my favorites. This one is the Sweet Talk palette. I wore this twice, and each time I did use the glitter in here, and I got so many compliments. I was down in LA for my vacation, and I got so many compliments from people that like at the stores and stuff. Like, maybe because they're trying to sell me stuff, but I got a lot of compliments when I was wearing this palette. Totally recommend. It's definitely one of my faves. Here's a good neutral palette. I don't know if this one's available anymore. I know they discontinued one of these. I think it was this one. But this one is the I Think I Love You palette. And again, mistakes that ColourPop has made is making two identical palettes. Can you tell the difference? Based on the front? No. But the backs look different. So this was the one that came out first. It's Double Entendre, which is still available. It's a really good neutral palette that's smaller than like the other ones. And this one's again a neutral palette again. But it has like some gold and black. And it's a little more poppy, I feel like. But yeah, why would you ever want to do that? Why? Makes no sense. Next we have Element Surprise. I decluttered this, but I added it back because I was like, I want it back. But yeah, it's purples and pinks and neutrals, and yeah, that's it. I don't know. There's not much to say about that. This one, a lot of people like it because it's so unique and different, but I honestly don't reach for it, and I didn't like the look I did with it. Again, that could be just a me thing, but I don't know. I don't like it. I like it and I don't like it. I like it because I hear so much good things about it and people love it. It's different. It's not your basic palette that everyone has. But I just don't, I don't know. Maybe it's just too grungy for me. Good as Gold. I love this palette. Oh, again, glitters are missing, but it's a really pretty gold palette. If you like gold, you'll like this palette. And I swear, how many times have I dropped this? Please leave a counter down below because I swear I dropped this plastic stuff like 20 times already. Next we have California Love. I'm gonna open it like this. Oh, there's none there. Again, took out the glitter, but it's a pretty color and I love it because it's all about California, which is the state I live in. So yeah, I love it more. There's that. Okay, you might be like, why is there so many palettes back on your bed? Well, it's because I realized I didn't take a thumbnail picture for the video, so I took all my palettes back out. But don't worry, I know which ones we haven't talked about. We're going to talk about the rest of my ColourPop palettes first and finish with Kaleidos. So let's go over here. We have the Bretman Rock collaboration, Lit and Wet. Lit is warm tone. Really, 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 really pretty. I love this palette. And then we have Wet, which is like, okay. It's cool blues, but I don't know. The quality of this one's not that great, but it's okay. It's an okay palette. I would get rid of it if I didn't really need it. Well, I would get rid of it. But I really want it, so, because it's Bretman Rock. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 second. Sorry about that, my sister's in the bathroom. I didn't want her background noise to be in the video, so. Okay, now we have my rainbow. We're going to start with the Nude Mood. This is one of my newer 9-pen palettes from ColourPop. Ooh, I caught that one, and it's just a pure nude. I did use this palette. It is really pretty. I didn't even use it on me. I used it on my sister, I believe. It's a really, really, really pretty palette. I like it. I love it. It's nude and it's really travel friendly. Like, look how small it is. It has literally the perfect shades for me. I love this palette and I just got it dirty because I'm a mess. Okay. Oh my god, but then there's this one, and there's nude palettes, there's neutral palettes, but this one is different. It just has cooler undertones. It's just different nudes. And this is definitely one of my top favorite ColourPop palettes also. So I would say this one, Through My Eyes, Flutter By are definitely my top like 3 palettes from ColourPop. I just love this one. It's so pretty. Next we have Brown Sugar, which is another neutral palette. It's really pretty. It's different and unique, and it's really good for darker skin tones because it's a Karuchi collab. I know she has that in mind to make them a little more darker for the really pretty dark neutral tones. We have Proceed with Caution. This is a collab with Shayla. I haven't touched this one too much, but it is a really pretty palette, and I wanted it for a long time. But yeah, there's that one. Now we're going to get to the rainbow. We have Strawberry Shake. Honestly, if you have Strawberry Shake, if you like this one more, then get this one. You do not need Ooh La La if you have Strawberry Shake. Let me open this one. They're both pinky tone. They're just different. This one has more purples in here. But if you like the pure like pinks and like more warm tones, then you're going to like this one more. But you don't need both, to be honest. Do I need both? No. But like every single palette in my collection, I'm gonna keep it. This is, again, my aesthetic. I love this palette. Like, if you haven't got it by now, I love purple eyeshadow right now. Just right now. I'm sure in the future it'll be changed. I'll probably be back to neutrals. But, I mean, I always love a neutral look. But purple for my colors is my thing. Especially lilac, like light purples. Like, oh my god. Oops, that just fell over. Anyways, we have It's My Pleasure. This is a purple palette. I like it, but I just love lighter purples right now. But this is another really pretty purple palette. Next, we have Blue Moon. This is a really pretty one. If you have this, you honestly don't need any other blue palettes like Blue Blood or anything. And this is a lot more affordable than Blue Blood. But yeah, if you don't have this and you want to play with blues, I recommend. If you want to play with any color, I recommend trying these. They're good quality, and you get a good range of the shades for the color. Next, we have Mint to Be, which is one of their newer ones. I love pastels right now, and this is a really, really pretty palette. I love it. I'm living for pastels right now, if you couldn't tell by my shirt. Next, we have Just My Luck. Green's not my favorite color, but if I need a green palette, I have one green palette, so yeah. We have Honey. A lot of people love this one, but I don't know. I've tried it. Maybe I need to play with it more, because I only did like one look with it. I think I need to play with it more and do more looks with it, but I haven't fallen in love with it yet. I love yellows, don't get me wrong, but right now I'm living for purple, so I think that cut off my love for yellow for a second. Okay, and the last three we have Baby Got Peach, which are all peach tones. Really pretty. Again, took out the glitter. Really, really pretty. We have Orange You Glad. Took out the glitter, but it's a really pretty palette. I do like orange looks too. And then Main Squeeze. I love reds. And it's a really pretty palette, and I'm glad they didn't put a glitter in it, because I hate when they put glitters in these palettes, because there's only 9 shades, so add one glitter and boom, you only have 8 that I really would play with. So yeah. Last, we are almost done. Last 5 palettes. Okay, we are going to go in order from 1 to 5. So we have first Futurism 1, Sci-Fi Green. This one is like a dupe for the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette, which I still kind of want that palette, but as long as I have this one, I really don't need it. I've tried this palette. It's really, really pretty. It's really, really nice. I know I said I didn't like green, but these are just like different, and I love the accent of gold. It's really, really awesome. And the quality is really good. They are a brand based in China, which I didn't even know until I bought them. But they're really pretty. They aren't the cheapest palettes, but they are good quality, and I like them, and they're different, and their packaging's really cool. This one is Cyber Bronze, this is definitely their most neutral palette out of their collection of 5. This is definitely the most neutral. A lot of people also like their highlighters that they have. They're really cool, like duochrome, really pretty colors. Next we have number 3, Astro Pink. This is again pretty neutral, but it has more of a tone to it. But yeah, this blue catches my eyes. Blues catch my eye. Metallic blues catch my eye so easily, but this is really, really pretty. This one's definitely outer space themed by the names and everything. Next, we have number 4, VR Neon, and when they say neon, they mean neon. It is very neon and in your face. I love the metallics in here a lot, but the neons are really cool too. I haven't played with this one yet, so I can't talk about the quality and how well they pay off, but I have seen people use it, and they say that it's really good quality. And then lastly, we have Electro Turquoise. And instead of just being a basic like teal, that pop of orange really just catches your eye. Like it does something different. I don't know why, but I never knew turquoise would go so well with an orange. Like it's so cool. And I dropped this, so now I don't know. I think it goes like this. Okay, so yeah. And that is all of my eyeshadow palettes, guys. Here is the pile of a mess of all my palettes. Let me try to angle this better because, okay, there we go. Yeah, that is all of my palettes. I'm going to lay it out all nicely again so I can take a thumbnail picture. But yeah, this is all of my eyeshadow palettes, all like 80 something, like 80-ish. I have some palettes on that list that are single shadows and not like actual palettes, but this is pretty much around 80 palettes. If you counted how many, then you can write it down below exactly how many, but it's definitely a lot. I'm going to lay these back out and make them look all pretty again so I can take a thumbnail picture. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one, so I'm not going to ramble on too much longer. Just like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. And leave suggestions down below for what kind of videos you want to see. Do you want to see more tutorials, more looks, more vlogs, more cooking, or other things? I don't know. Let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!